Hey, so today we are going to install the Zowe on our Zowe SLPAR. So I'm gonna take this download from this link. So I will agree here. While it's downloading the SMP package, I will pause the video and return once it's finished. Okay, so now I'm gonna jump for my VS Code and we're going to start allocating the file Cs where we are going to upload this package, this SMP package. So I'm gonna take the file sys job that is sample on the zowe.org page to use that to allocate this file. Okay, now let me take a job card sample from my LPAR here just to paste there. I will just update here the field that I'm doing the Zowe installation, allocating my file sys for that. So update the name here for the job card. Nice. So in all jobs from the Zowe, we have the instructions about what needs to be updated. So I'm gonna update here the ZFS path where I'm uploading the SMP package. So here are some explanation about that. I will use Command Shift L to update everywhere where I need to have this updated. So I will include here the path for where I'm going to make the FTP. Here I'm gonna update the DSN where I'm going to mount this path. So look, why I'm typing here, it's also typing there. So that's why the Command Shift L on Mac. Okay, looks that the job is ready, so it's gonna allocate for me the omvs.var.zowe and mount the var zowe director on it. We also need to update the size of this file, so the tracks. As there are no instructions about this, I'm gonna stick with 500 for the primary allocation and 100 for the secondary allocations. I'm also updating here the volume where I'm gonna allocate that. So let me take here the vocer where I'm locating my own OMVS files. So this first job looks good now. Let's take a look here. Here we have the commands, creating our directory and then mounting. We are using TSO program for that. So okay, let's submit this. Let's save it. So it's uploaded to our dataset. Now let's submit it. So our job was submitted. Let's take a look how was the allocation of that. So okay, that completed with 0. That's a good sign. And yeah, everything looks good here. Let's just take a quick overview on all this spool generator. Output. Okay, perfect. So we had our file created, it's mounted. So now we can upload our SMP package for that. So for that, I'm gonna use SFT. So let me go to my download folder. I will unzip the package I've just downloaded. Okay, it's unzipping that. So now let me take a copy of this name so I can remember them later. I will split my screen here just to make this note. I used Command W for that. So let me just confirm with this list command if I see these files here. Okay, perfect. So let me clean the screen again and jump for the SFTP. So SFTP, the user and the hostname where I'm logging on. So I'm connected, and now I'm going direct to the director where I'm going to upload these files. So from here, I'm use the put command to take what is on the current directory where I'm working, so download folder, to the target directory where I just used the cd to go, so the var/zoe. So I'm ftp all these files, the txt that has the instructions for us, and the packs, that is the current package for SMP, and I'm gonna pause while it's uploading. So the files we have are now on our lopar. So let's SSH on our lopar. That's my password, and I'm in. So let's take a look on our directory where we uploaded the files. Okay, we are here. But when we did the SFTP, that makes a binary transfer. So we need to convert the readme file here that was in ASCII to ABCDIC. So let's use this iconv and put the content of that, the conversion, in another file with extension ABCDIC here. So this is just to make a different name. Nice, so we can now remove the old file with extension txt that was in ASCII. Okay, we are done here. I'm gonna close this area, my terminal. I don't need more of these notes also, so I'm not saving that. Okay, let's go here on Zowe and take a look on our var Zowe and our file to extract. So let's update that job here, that template. Again, let me just change here to JCL so it's easier to me to see here the params and everything inside of this file. Now let's take a look on comments and see what else do we have to update here. Okay, so there is some information about this, what needs to be done. So the first part of this job, it has the same file sys job that we run to allocate that, so I'm not uncommenting that, so but just a heads up. Okay, let's change the prefix. I'm gonna use with Command Shift L to update all entries of that, so I'm gonna put here Zoe. The ZFS path where we downloaded the path, so the slash var slash Zoe, so it's where our package is, so we need that. The ZFS DSN where we have uploaded that, so invs var Zoe. Okay, this first step, create a directory. We have already done that, so I'm not commenting, but this is here also for reference. Okay, let's take a look. And the step 2, will finally do the unpackage of our file with extension pack C. So, okay, we have already uploaded. So let's customize it. We are done doing that right now. We have already updated here to Zowe. The directory is updated. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So we have duplicated the Zowe. I don't like that. So I would just erase one of the Zowe. So I'm selecting the word Zowe. And when I do the selection, I will press the Command Shift L. Okay, so let's copy all this content we've just updated for a member in our PDS, and let's submit that job from there. Yeah, I don't have the option for submit here on the USS, so let's copy it. And I will create a new member. Let me copy this over. Okay, I will save that. So now let's submit this job to extract all files that we are going to need to do this SMP install. Okay, so the job completed. You can see here when we refresh that. Let's refresh again. Okay, and we have 00, so that's good. The next step now is using the raw files to do all the SMP installation. So I'm gonna locate a new SMP here. So I will follow from this begin. So the first job here, I will change the CSI high level qualifier to Zowe.smp. I'll set my target and the lib zone to T and D ZWE. You can choose any name that you want. Okay, I'm not using volumes, so I'm just typing NA to don't have in lowercase on my JCL, but that's not being used as I'm not uncommenting the places where volumes is referenced. So I think we are all good now, so let's submit that. Just was checking before, and let's go. Okay, our job has run, completed with 0, so that's a good sign. I'm just changing here to JCL to be easier to see. Okay, so now we are going to receive the FMID on this SMP we just created. So let's update here to our high-level qualifier Zowe.smp. So here is the high-level qualifier that was extracted on the previous job from extract. So I'm commenting that because I've just used Zowe. So I'm not using this variable here, so I will also delete this, and this job should be good. On next job, we are going to allocate our SMP files for target and distribution libraries. So I will also continue with Zowe.smp. Again, I'm removing all that volumes and applying to NAs just to have, just you don't have lowercase here. Otherwise, we can get a JCL error. Submit it, and the job should have completed already. So all datasets for targets and distribution are located. Let's create the ZFS where we are going to do all the OMVS part of this installation. So I'm gonna locate this as omvs.zowe.zfs. I'm just pointing an A for this volume also. And this path to prefix is from where we are starting and creating all the default for the directories and all the stuff for our instances. So I'm starting with just slash because I'm gonna use the slash user slash lpp slash Zowe. Zowe.smp, that's our high level qualifier for the RCSI. The target high level qualifier also Zowe.smp. The volume I will stick with NA. Here are some comments about having access to BPX super user. Okay, so we should be good with that. This is the parm to be added on parm.lib, so you won't lose this after your next IPO. I will change here, I will increase a bit, but you don't need to. So I'm just increasing here to avoid problems with space. Yeah, I think all looks good now, so let's submit that. Okay, our job has been submitted. Just refreshing here to see when that happens. Okay, perfect. Okay, on our next step, our next job, we're going to create the director on that path that we just pointed for the ZFS. Let's update the JS prefix here for our Zowe SMP. The high level qualifier for target. Okay, I think we can save that and let's just double check and submit that. Okay, that completed. So now we are going to update the data definitions on our SMP. So again, update information here for our CSI, for target and distribution. Okay, our zones are updated. So let's pass the high level qualifier for that. This installation is very straightforward, so if you pay attention on the comments that you have on all these JCLs, you're gonna see that it's very easy to complete. So you just need to pay attention on that and check if everything was updated. Oh, looks that I forgot something here, so let's just command shift out to update and make sure that I didn't forgot to update any other place. I think we are good now. And again, look, everywhere on the JCLs they have commented the volume, so that's why I just putting that NA to avoid issues, and don't worry about this information because always commented. Okay, our job is ready, so let's run this to get our data definitions updated. So great, this job has completed with 0. So let's work now on the apply. Update here our CSI and our target zone. Okay, let's submit this job. It takes a while to submit, and I'm just the check was okay, so I can go to the final apply. And let's see. So it's running. Perfect. Oh, perfect. Not. We got a 12 here, and let's take a look where we got a problem here. So on the sprint, let's go to the button. Okay, so we have a problem. Looks that was on the end, and I took some time to figure that out, but now the Zowe team has already created an issue to address that. So make sure you have access to BPX file attributes progctl. I will run again after I have permitted my user to that access. And great, in this time we have completed with 0, so our product is applied, our FMAT is applied. We can go to accept. Let's update here our SMP qualifiers information. Same for distribution zone now. Okay, so the accept check was with 0 success, so let's do the accept without a check. Okay, perfect. So also completed with 0. So our next step now, we are going to configure everything. So we need to log into our environment. I'm gonna close everything here and look for the Zowe Secure. So from the version 1.9, I believe we have this configuration ready for you to do, this job ready for you to do all the security configuration for your Zowe user. So everything that we need to do here is inform what is the product responsible for security, if it's HECF, SCF, or TSS. So I'm going with RegF and with all the default information here. Okay, that has completed with 0. Perfect. Let's do some checks here on my terminal. So I would just issue some TSO commands to verify something around my user. So I will list the user that is gonna be assigned for the Zowe. So Zowe SV user. and that's perfect. So the user is created, it's already having some of the access. Let's do some other checks here. Let me connect this with my Zowe SMF group. So the user. Awesome. I just connected that. There are some other facility that's needed. You should define just to be sure that has already been defined. Okay, so yeah, look, that was already defined on our job with success, so I don't have to stick with that. So let's clear. There are some access that this user need to have, so I will issue some permits here just to be sure. I haven't checked if that's also on the Zowe secure job, but so let's permit this user to BPX server. So you're gonna need access of update on these facilities. Okay, nice. I will just repeat the command now for the other BPX class that we need. Okay, for BPX daemon. Okay, so now let's refresh our facility. So it just issue the set drops for hacklist facility refresh. Okay, that's done. Okay, so let's just list that resource just to check our user has the access it needs. Okay, so here we see our Zowe SV user. Let's check the BPX daemon. Great, so we are good with that. Let's check also the BPX job name. Okay, so that's also good. Okay, let's go to our user LPP Zowe or root directory, and here we are going to start our setup. So there is something that we need to pay attention when we are running on the certificate configuration scripts and everything. So first thing, I'm gonna update here the environment to point to my user lpp dot slash Zowe, because I don't have a right access on the global and I'm not going to update that right now. I'm changing this for false because my ZOSMF certificate is self-signed, so to accept that. So let's do the SSH now and run our scripts. Okay, password. I'm gonna use the super user, otherwise it won't be able to update some directories owners. Okay, so I'm on my root directory and I'm gonna take the scripts from the bin folder, and there I'm gonna use the Zowe setup certificate. Let me pass here the environment options. So also on the bin directory under the Zowe setup certificates.env. Before generate my instance, just an attention here. If you have more than one port for USMF, for example, for ZERT, you may find issues on this script. So I've just disabled this plugin. So let's run now the Zowe configure instance and pass where I'm setting that instance. We can have multiple instances for Zowe. So I'm just creating my demos folder here for this instance. Okay, so my instance is configured. Okay, another point of attention, I'm not the master of shell scripts, but one thing that you need to take care is that you need to be on the root directory to run your file. And remember to pass the full path when you are calling the script. I believe that's because it takes this as reference to find the environment options we have settled. Okay, so let's refresh that and see if our instance.env now has the data we wanted to have. Okay, nice. So we have that configured now. Looks good. After set certificate our instance variables, now we can work on the load lib, so the modules that we need to copy our procs and all that. So let me return to the SLPAR. And here I'm using the script that we have here on this package to help with these copies. So inside of utils we have the Zowe install xmem script, and that will help us to copy the members we need to copy. So first, what is my high level qualifier? What is the load lib where I'm copying the load modules? What's my parm lib and proc lib that I want to copy something? And okay, that started copying, and looks like I got an error to copy the Zowe parm lib member. That's because I had previously another member inside of this parm lib, so I believe I will need to copy that manually. So let me take this same member from our Zowe SMP simple lib. Let me type here to be easy to find that. Okay, there we go. So I will copy it, and let me add here on this filter my parm lib so I can copy it over there. Okay, so let's take a look here. I will open the parm lib just to confirm that this member was there. Yeah, so there we go. I will delete this old member to copy the new one here. So pasting, the name will be the same. And there we go. Let me just add some highlight and let's take a look. Okay, so very simple member. Now let's go and copy over the procs to the proc lib since we didn't find any message on this copy script. So let me find here my user.proclib. Okay, so let's copy the procs over my user proclib, giving their names here. Right, so we should be able to update our procs now. So let's take a look on them and see what we have to update here for our environment to be ready to start this procs. So on Zowe CTC, we need to update here the step lib. So let's point that for our user.load lib that I have here, and for my parm lib for where that ISO member was copied over. So the user.parm lib. So now the auxiliary task. Let's take a look on that. Okay, so here just the mention for the load lib. So I will also include here the user.load lib. Still on the param lib, let's take a look on our sched member. I probably already have the updates we need here as I had before another version of Zowe installed, but let's take a look to confirm that. So on schedule, and if I go to the bottom of this file, let's take a look if there is. Okay, yeah, so I have here already our program names, our ppt for Zowe C01 and for the Zowe auxiliary task. Okay, so now let's close it and check if this user.loadlib is already an APF dataset. So I will use the function here to send a command through the VS Code to my system. And let me issue the display prog APF command here to check if that dataset is already APF. So gprog APF and dsn user.lib. So when we do that, we got an output from the command here, and this dataset is not in the APF list. So I'm gonna issue the command now to add this dataset for my APF, and this is an SMS val, so I'll just put here. Awesome, and I just added the wrong name here. And guys, don't let an entry on your APF if that doesn't exist. That's a breach on your security. I will fix that on mine later. So let me just send the right command now with the user dot load lib here instead, and the SMS. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we can now go to our scripts folder where we should have the script to start the Zowe. And okay, I'm in the wrong script folder, so that should be inside of our bin, our demos, so instance folder. So there we should find the Zowe start and Zowe stop script, and there we go. Oh, so JCL we are, yeah, we just forgot to copy over the Zowe svstc. That should be the next step on the installation instructions, and I just skipped that. So let me copy that over and then try again this command. Okay, so let's just use the same name where I'm copying here, and let's take a quick look here. Yeah, as you see, when we start this proc, it receives the instance director, so that's pointing to my demo. So let's try the script again. And there we go. Looks like we have a good result for this start command. So let me just send a display to see if that is really active. And no, we are not. Okay, and so let's take a look on our output. Why that is not active if that looks that the start command worked. So I will use the jobs here to look for the Zowe STC. And then we have here the first one that failed with the JCO error. Okay, so that's the one that we had. We didn't have the JCL on our proc lib. So let's go to the next one now, as you see. Oh, so it was pointing to our global director we just overwrite that to allocate the key store on the user LPP. So that's why this director doesn't exist. So let's fix that on our instance.env. Okay, there we go. So let's just update here to the user LPP. So this is where we created this key store, where our certificates were located. And let's try again the start command. Okay, this again looks at the start command worked, and there we go, the task is active. Awesome, so we can now try and see if we can access the Zowe. So let's take the browser and access the address of my LPAR with the port 8544. So this is the default port for the Zilux. There's a bit here for HTTPS, nice. So the link is active. Let me accept this self-send certificate to access this page, and there we go. So let's log in with our HackF user. Oh, so okay, yeah. So it failed to authenticate on ZSS. We forgot to start the ZSS task. So let's do that now and try the login again. So I'm using here my shortcut that I've just configured to quick access the Zowe, and I will send the command to my LPAR. So the Zowe SEISTC. So that is the ZSS task. Okay, awesome. Looks like it worked. So let's change the filter on our job area here, so we can see all tasks are available or active there. Okay, and there we go, we have the 2 tasks active. Returning to our browser, let's try the login again. And looks, yeah, there we go. So we are on. So we have completed this installation. Let's just do a quick test here and check if we can access what else we have inside of the Zilux. So the terminal, let's take a look, and yeah, there we go. So it's working. Let's see one Explorer here. Okay, MVS Explorer. So let me authenticate here in the Explorer. Great, so that's working. Awesome. So we have here the Zowe install complete, and I will do another recording later applying the PTFs related to the latest updates of Zowe. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.